So I've been playing video games for about 15 years, and even the good ones get boring sometimes, with stupid missions, cutscenes, and endless side quests. They all get pretty stale, except maybe SSX3. I mean, that's just a beautiful game. And then there are some games like Farming Simulator or Train Simulator that are just plain boring, but you might expect that. No one really wants to play those. So here are some popular games that are either big or beloved, but trust me, they are still boring. Number 6, LA Noire with a score of 89 on Metacritic. LA Noire is so creative. It's got realistic graphics and kind of realistic gameplay and a storyline straight out of old Hollywood. The cars, the clothes, and the weapons, they're all period appropriate to the 1940s. The only problem is it's kind of boring. One of the things that make open world gaming so great is the sheer amount of things to do and places to explore. LA Noire had the look and it had the world. Unfortunately, it was just pretty empty. And how can a detective game be any good with such a low level of interactability? And apparently Rockstar had to cut large chunks of the storyline to meet deadlines. So maybe that's why the ending sucks so much. Number 5, The Sims. Now listen, The Sims was kind of revolutionary and it sold like 11 million copies. And it came out in 2000, so I guess it's ahead of its time, but honestly, this game is just boring. Once you're done building your Sims a nice house, what's the point? The kids take way too long to grow up, so you're left doing nothing. And this goes for all the Sims. If there's a WikiHow about how to keep from getting bored on a game, well then trust me, it sucks. Especially if the suggestions include changing your traits, making ghosts in every color, and turning it off to play Minecraft. Number 4, Assassin's Creed. The mechanics are beautiful and so are the graphics. Climbing and fighting and jumping, all of that can be insanely satisfying, but here's the problem. There's just too many trailing missions. I mean, most of the game is just trailing someone who's walking slower than you. Turns out that being an assassin just means being quiet, moving slowly, and listening to unskippable dialogue and watching unskippable cutscenes. Number 3, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is pretty, but that's about it. It's an open world game if the world is an infinite universe filled with infinite possibilities and destinations, except most of them are pretty much the same and you're always alone. Like always. It's called No Man's Sky for a reason. But each world presents its own vegetation and its own animal life, geography, and color schemes. At first, that's exciting, but each time you see a floating rock or a snake with legs, it gets less and less exciting. Eventually, you are left with a long, fever dream of colorful landscapes and lonely planets. Number 2, Star Wars Battlefront. No full game has ever felt more like the trial version. I know the graphics are beautiful and the worlds are pretty much what you want. I mean, they really captured Star Wars, so props. In a word, this game is immersive, but there's only 4 game types and only 6 maps. There's no story, no plot. Online play is just a free-for-all, and unless you have the additional EA subscription, you can't play online anyways. I mean, we waited a decade for this game. Number 1, Sea of Thieves. The main problem with this game, there is just nothing to do. And no reason to do anything. You gain nothing from killing another player, you gain nothing from sinking a ship. There is barely anything to be gained from exploring an island or taking on the skeletons. And there are no bosses, unless you count the Kraken. Here's an actual quote from one of the developers. Sometimes it's okay to be a little bit bored and be like, what do we do? Let's fill in this space. Let's get the instruments about and piss about. And just have some fun. We've provided tools for players to fill that boredom space in their own way. Apparently they took the Brattle Matrix and tried to find a way to appeal to each type of player. And instead, they got a game that appeals to no one. At least no one once they've been playing for about an hour. Anyways, that's the list. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thank you for watching.